Hello, Ellen. It's lovely to meet you. I'm so thrilled that you've joined us here today. Welcome.
Hello, Angela. Yes, thank you very much. And hello to you too. It's lovely after seeing you speak to actually to be able to speak with you.
Yes, it's fabulous because I see you on
Yeah,
social media a lot. And
yes, that's right.
yeah, so
Yeah,
it's wonderful to connect this way.
definitely.
Um, I've got like questions that I'm going to ask you written
Mhm.
down here. So if I glance down, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
But I was going
that's
to
right.
ask you first of all, for those people who don't know you, could you
hmm
tell us a little bit about yourself, please, first of all?
hmm Yes. Well, I suppose I started reading first, from a young age, and I always enjoyed reading. Oh, I'm sorry, there's my clock going off. I don't know if you can hear that.
No, it's
Um,
fine.
Oh, that's all right. So the reading was the main thing, although as a child I wrote some poems and little stories. I wrote my first novel when I was 18, and then I wrote a few once my children were little, and I had, when they were asleep, I'd write. Um, and I did have an agent at that time, but things didn't work out. And then I got involved in choir singing, musical theatre. So I wrote less because it's a little bit difficult the show must go on, as you know,
Yeah,
you know
indeed.
yourself. Yes. So, but then I gradually came back to writing more. And in 2015, we moved from where we lived to Brisbane in Queensland. And I'd written a novella just before and around the time of leaving, and I thought, I'm going to self-publish this. And so that's when my second career of writing started. And I've kept just going since then, really, really, and just published my 17th book.
Wow, that's
So
fantastic. What an achievement.
yes, so I was determined to keep going this time.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank
That's an
you.
achievement,
Thank
isn't
you.
it? Yes, wonderful. Right. So you answered the first question I was going to ask you. When did you start writing? You said
Oh,
when you were
yes,
18.
yes, yes. Well, that's right. I don't know why at 18 I thought I could write a novel when I hadn't really studied writing or anything. But I had read a lot, as I said,
Yeah.
and I always felt that when I read, I just fell into the book, and so it did come easy actually to write because and I sort of loved historical fiction. And when I was reading as a teenager, often my parents would say to me as I come out of my bedroom after reading, well, we know you're reading historical at the moment, because apparently I kept speaking that way.
I love it. Embodied the character, did you?
That's right.
I love it. That's
So
brilliant.
it sort of come easy in a way. Although I'm sure those first novels weren't very good, but still.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, but I think that that is one of the things that authors need, isn't it? We need to sort of embody
Yes,
the characters,
yes,
speak like them, think like them.
definitely.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
genres do you write?
Well, I do write several. I do write historical fiction. I
Right.
write cozy murder mystery. And my newest of fantasy, which really are more an reimagining of Irish mythology rather than
Oh,
pure fantasy.
lovely. I love
So, and I've written a couple of ghost stories. So, and yeah, I do like paranormal, and all of my books do tend to have romantic elements in them, even if it's not a romance novel as such, I
yeah.
tend to always have
Oh, that's
a love story in there.
oh, that's wonderful. Well, love makes the world go around, as
That's
they
right.
say. Okay, so I'm very interested in your cozy mysteries. I love those. I love
Yes,
all the
yes,
genres you mentioned, though. But could you tell us a little bit more about your cozy mysteries? Because I believe you've
yes.
got 6 books in your Thornton
There's
mystery
six.
series.
Yes, yes, there's six
That's
published.
fabulous.
So they are virtually. a family is the center of the story, but the daughter is the one who's off solving mysteries more with her best friend, adopted sister. But they're set in the 1920s, late 1920s, in Australia, in Victoria. And I wanted, well, what gave me the idea was when I was visiting, I visited a manor house that's heritage listed called Werribee Park. And after I went through the house, and then I did over successive years a few times, I thought I have to write a story with that house. So I sort of, that the house inspired me anyway. And then I mean, it was a time when Downton Abbey was very popular. So I wanted like an upstairs, downstairs, but that's not exactly how it works in Australia because we don't have a true, upstairs, downstairs type of thing.
Right.
But in those days, in the early 20s, they did have staff but the family cares about the staff as well. So I do try and make it a very family orientated, and there's a love story that goes all the way through.
Oh, wonderful.
And a best female
Oh,
friends,
that's always a good idea.
Edith and Alexandra. So you've got to have that as well. So I think that they're, you know, um, something for people to relate to,
Yeah.
even though it's
Sounds
set in the
wonderful.
1920s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds wonderful. Well, it's obviously your love of historical romance and
Mm,
paranormal cozy mysteries and
that's
stuff has
right.
all come together in this series. It's
And the
wonderful.
other thing is that the family are antique dealers, and
Oh,
I've always had a love of antiques. So I was able to bring my love of antiques into that.
that's
So
wonderful. Well, I'm going to have to read
mm.
it now.
I wish I had my own collection, but I don't. But
Oh, well, there's time. There's always time.
yes, that's right. But I've
Right.
always liked them.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. What a
Yes.
wonderful, inspirational place. It's amazing how
Well,
we find ideas, isn't it?
yes,
Sometimes it's
yes, that's
people,
right.
circumstances, and in your case, it's an actual place. It's wonderful.
Mm. And
Um,
each book I have taken to a separate location as well. I mean, they
okay,
might start at the family home, but
right.
one would go to the vineyards in the Barossa Valley, and another one went to Norfolk Island, which is a small tropical island off the coast of Australia. And so there's been different
Yeah.
locations
Oh,
with the
that's
various
wonderful.
settings.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I'm going to definitely have to read it now. I've earmarked it now. So can I just ask you, does writing energize or exhaust you?
I'd have to say it energizes me because I never hesitate. I'm just dying to get to the computer every day.
Oh,
And so I don't, yes, definitely energizes me.
that's
Um,
fantastic.
yes, I just find that, well, it's that creative process that is
Indeed.
just wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So,
if I do have a temporary writer's block, I go out into the garden or something like that, and then just come back and it's, thoughts have
yeah,
come then.
yeah. Because I've seen your
Mm.
beautiful flowers in your garden. It's so
Oh, yeah.
stunning. Yeah.
Yes. Well, living in the subtropics,
Yeah.
where I do see, got the different tropical flowers.
Stunning, stunning. So, can I just ask, how did publishing your first book change your process of writing, or did it?
Mm. Um, well, it certainly, it was a whole new experience. I
Right.
don't know that it so much changed it,
Yeah.
although the first book was a novella, and it was
Right.
after that I started the first Thornton's book. And
Oh,
I think really by doing the novella, perhaps the only way it didn't change it, but it gave me that little bit of experience
right.
before I did the beginning of the series.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yes, so not so much changed it, but
Yeah.
I mean, all along the way, I suppose, different self-publishing, we run into different things that are difficult and change. You know, you learn some things along the way, don't you?
Yeah, of
And
course. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And it's ever evolving. It seems
that's
to be.
right.
Right. So this is maybe a strange question, but I think this question would reveal you to your readers.
Mm,
What, as a writer, would you choose as your mascot or your avatar?
hmm well, I had never actually thought of that. Um, but I mean, I have used a flower before now because
Okay.
I love my love of flowers,
Yeah,
and I love to take photos and you know, paint them and as well.
that's right. You
So
do. You paint.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Beautiful
So
paint.
I suppose the top answer would be a flower, but the
Right.
second one would be an animal because I love animals. So possibly a dog, one of my favorite dogs, you know,
Yeah.
or the next thing would be a tiger, which is my
Oh,
favorite wild animal choice.
right.
Yes,
Because you've
yes.
got a book that has something to do with a tiger in the title.
Yes, well, it's a trilogy actually,
Right.
and the third book has just come out in end of November, and
Right.
that is the Mark of the Tiger series set in
Ah,
Singapore.
yes.
And so that was sort of in the Victorian era, but in Singapore. And I suppose it's just that because when we visited Singapore, and I wanted to write a book there, I picked up a lot of books while I was there through research.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought, no, I'm going to bring tigers into it somehow,
Yeah.
because really in that Victorian era, they were still having tigers roaming. Obviously, it was
Yeah.
their land, and people would build plantations, and the tigers would just wander in, and that was that, you know.
Of
So
course.
a lot of poor tigers were killed, but that was that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. But yes, but I've always loved tigers as the wild animal. So that'd be my three choices for an
Oh, that's
avatar.
wonderful. Yeah. Because I read one of your book, Jacaranda. Oh God,
Oh, when jacarandas bloom.
that's so stunning. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. And I love the
yes.
cover and everything. Do you paint the covers of your books? Do you actually paint?
I haven't actually used one of my paintings, but I do some that jacaranda blooms. I got the tree and I changed it a bit digitally, and I
Right.
usually fiddle around with them in some way, as long as it's a free image or I bought it because I
Yeah.
have bought images, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe one day I'll paint a cover for my book, but
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Highly recommended. Do you sell your paintings?
I haven't been, well, I've sold one or two, but I haven't, like, I don't have a website or anything other than my main website where people can look at them.
Books.
And
Yeah.
that's got more photographs than paintings.
Right.
But I have thought about it, but haven't
Yeah.
got to it, sort of
Beautiful.
thing.
They're so beautiful. That's why I'm
Oh,
asking.
thank you.
Right. So, just to return back to the writing, I just wanted to, but actually, this also would be about painting as well. What is the most difficult part of your artistic process, do you feel?
Um, hmm. Well, in some senses, I mean, I don't have any trouble creating the story. And I suppose, like most authors, the editing, when you do your self-editing,
Yeah.
is the most difficult part.
Yeah.
And then I'd skip to the marketing, which is difficult. Not really part of your creative process, but
Right.
it's the tail end of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is very difficult. But as far as the creation, and once I get one idea, I'm sort of away and I just, you know, push things aside for a minute and they're pigeonholed while I get those ideas down.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then I know, well, they're down. I can go back to what else I was doing, you know. So
yeah.
it's, yes, mainly that
Oh, that's
self-editing
wonderful.
is
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. I know what you mean about the marketing.
Really.
I think it's the bane of all
Mhm.
writers'
I
lives.
know.
It's like, oh, it's like, just please buy my
What to
books.
do. Yes.
Yeah. So, can I ask, what's next for you?
Well, I've had some exciting news this year because I've got a new publisher
Oh,
and an
congratulations.
Australian publisher, so I'm very happy about that. And to start with, I've got a contract for the first two in they're the Triple Goddess series, and so I focus on the Triple Goddess of Celtic mythology,
Yes.
but it's nowhere near factual. I sort of, use some bits and but keep to it to some extent. But I've taken it to another realm because I didn't want in any way to influence, like the fact that you've got Irish mythology with Bridget, the triple goddess
Yeah.
it was Bridget, and I just took it to another realm.
Mm.
And so the first two books of those, I received a contract with first, and then I've since got a contract just signed today,
Oh,
actually,
wow, congratulations.
for, yes, thank you, for two mysteries that are set, one in mainly Australia, but it does go to like London, Paris, Cairo even,
Oh,
and mainly in Australia though. And the second book is set in London, and that is about really about art fraud after World War Two,
yeah.
because a lot of art fraud
Big thing.
happened during World
Yeah.
War Two.
Yeah.
So that's the subject of that one. So I've just signed the contract for those two books today.
Wonderful. How exciting. Yay.
Yes, thank you.
Have you
Although they won't
celebrated?
come out. Sorry?
Have you celebrated?
No, I haven't yet. I'm celebrating now, telling you.
Oh, great. I'm so delighted. Am I the first to know?
Yes. Well,
Yay.
you are that I signed it
Exclusive.
today.
It's an exclusive. We have an
Yeah.
exclusive. That's fantastic. I love that. Oh,
Well,
brilliant.
that's right.
So now you have to get your socks on and start writing these books that you've been
Mm.
attracted to.
Oh,
How
well,
wonderful.
no, I've written those four books.
Yeah.
So but I've got to write the ones that follow.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
But are you
So
taking a
that,
break over Christmas first?
oh, a short break, yes,
Yeah.
have a little bit of break, obviously with the family
Yeah.
and grandchildren that are growing up, you know, well, young adults,
Yeah.
one's 16, but still, it's
Yes,
nice to spend time with the family,
of course. Yeah. What do they think
definitely.
about your writing? Do they support you?
Yes, yes, well, they do, well, for the Triple Goddess series, my grandson helped with the map that I did of the first. I don't know whether the publisher's going to use the map, but I've got a map done,
Fabulous.
and my husband too. He proofreads every book
Oh,
to start with. I get other people to proofread as well because
yeah.
you know you need more than one person. But he's
Yeah, it's
very
important.
supportive,
Yeah.
and I'm always sort of regaling him with my stories and ideas, but he's very supportive too. And yeah, so yeah.
I think it's really important if you have a wonderful group around you, your
Mm.
family and friends who support you. I
Yes,
think it's
yes, yes,
really important. So, how lovely,
yeah,
my darling.
yeah,
I'm so excited. I'm so
yeah,
excited for you to get your agent, I mean your publisher. Did you approach
yeah.
them or did they find you?
Well, with the first book, I had followed them since they'd started publishing, and I was on their newsletter,
Oh,
and the publisher had said, did anyone who was reading the newsletter have books with a cliffhanger at the end? And
right.
I thought, well, I'm going to be cheeky and email back and say, I do. I've just finished one.
I love it.
And so she said, well, let me see it. And so that's it.
You went from
She
there.
took that one and it went from there. Yes. So,
Fabulous. Oh, wow. Well,
yes.
I wish you all the best of success with it.
Yes,
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you. Thank
yeah.
you so much. Yes.
But I'm definitely going to
Yeah.
have to read your mystery series now. It's very intriguing. Yeah, so I know that you sent me loads of links of where people can find you. So I'll put those
Yes.
in
Yes.
the description box below this
Mhm.
video so people can find you. But if they want to connect with you today,
Yes.
because this won't
Yeah.
go out until Friday.
Mhm.
So if they want to connect
No.
with you today, where can they find you?
Mhm. Well, probably the places I'm the most on are Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
I mean, I do go onto Threads a little bit, which is an Instagram one as well, but Instagram itself is probably my biggest. And you can DM someone if you wanted to, or just in one of the posts, ask the
Yeah,
question. And Facebook, of course, I go on there
right.
most days too. Yes, so they'd be the best.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, Ellen, thank you so, so much for coming to spend time with us and for sharing
Thank
about your
you.
books and your good news and
Yes.
life. And it's just lovely. And I'm so grateful that you came and chatted to us. And I wish
Well,
you
thank
a wonderfully happy and Merry Christmas and a fantastic New Year.
Well, look, I must thank you also. It's been absolutely wonderful chatting to you. Um, you're always so wonderful when I've seen your videos, but it's
Oh,
just lovely to speak to you. And
thank
I
you.
wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. All the best for the um, Christmas holiday season.
Thank you.
And yes, and see you in the new year, or I'll probably see you before then once
Before
your
then, yeah, yeah,
video is up.
we'll connect. Right.
But thank you so much for inviting me
You're very welcome.
to
Thank you for
chat.
accepting.